What's up, Wrestle Geeks? This is Big Mike here at the Rock and Wrestling event here at the Wonderland Malls of America in San Antonio. And as you can see, I have with me a bona fide legend, one of the most iconic men in the history of wrestling. It is Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake, thank you for being with us. We do appreciate it.
Pleasure to do it, man. Pleasure to do it.
Now, Jake, you, in your career in the WWE, we'll start off with here, one of the most feared men, and of course, you had your snake, one of the few people who could put fear into Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
What was that like at the time?
I don't know that it was a good thing because it pissed that big son of a bitch off.
Yeah.
You know, it was good to have a one-up on him.
Sure.
You know, give him something to think about. That's what the snake was always about. Just give your opponent something else to think about other than what they should be focused on, which is me.
Yeah.
And, but I tell you, looking back, he kicked my ass. You know, I might have wound up on top of him a couple of times, but I don't know that it was worth it.
Sure. In all fairness, though, I'm sure there's pretty much most people who faced Andre who suffered that fate.
Yeah, there's not many people that came on top of him.
Yeah. And speaking of the snake, to the origin of that, was that something? Did you have a fear of snakes before you
Yes,
got
I
that?
did.
You did. So what was that like, trying to conquer the fear of bringing the snake out with you and throwing it on people?
It was pretty amazing, man. And to this day, I'm still afraid of snakes. But it's really weird. Once the bell rings, there's nothing that I have fear for.
Sure.
Not even Andre the Giant. Once the bell rang, I was ready to go. And it didn't matter about the snake either. Now, as soon as that bell rang again, I went back to being that little girl that was scared.
Interesting. Throughout the 80s and 90s, full of big names and legends, and when they got on that mic, they would yell. There was a lot of bravado and stuff. You were that one who could captivate an audience with a very low voice.
Right.
How did you kind of find that place of that interview and that promo where you're just looking at the camera, you're real quiet, but everyone is hanging on every word you're saying?
Well, it actually started out because I had to do it that way. Simply because I had a knee drop to my throat and crushed my voice box in 1977, 78. And I can't yell. This is as loud as it gets.
Right.
So it was necessity that caused it, but it worked out really well.
After your time in WWE, you spent some time in WCW as well.
Yeah.
Some of their most iconic matches, the spin the wheel, make the deal with Sting. Do you look back any fond memories from WCW? Anything that really sticks out to you?
Not really.
No. Okay.
I had a bad thing I had to deal with there named Bill Watts. And that fat bastard really screwed me over. And, you know, it is what it is.
More recently, you've come back into AEW.
Yes.
Managing the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer.
Yeah.
What has that been like? Because as we mentioned before, he's got ties to Texas.
Yeah,
we're big fans of him.
Well, I'm a North Texas boy also, you know. But yeah, Murder Hawk, he is tremendous, man. He is such an athlete and such a monster.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, their character or their gimmick doesn't fit them. This fits him because there's nothing he can't do. It really isn't.
Yeah. He's a very impressive wrestler.
Oh my God.
You were also doing some of that stuff during the pandemic time where they were down at Daly's Places.
Right.
It was a mostly empty arena with just other wrestlers at ringside. What was that like in your time in wrestling? It's gotta be.
We did it, but I tell you, I feel for the guys that had to do it.
Yeah.
Because with no fans there, you can't pull their energy from them. So you got to gut it out and do it yourself. But I tip my hat to all those guys that went through that.
Yeah. Is there anyone else that's currently in wrestling that you really like or really feel is like blowing up? Maybe someone that either you worked with or just someone you admire watching.
Sammy Guevara.
Okay. Also has local ties.
Oh, the guy from Winnipeg. Oh my God.
Omega?
Omega.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I really love what Kenny does. He's a tremendous athlete, and he knows psychology too.
Yeah. And also, you said you're a North Texas boy. You talked also before we came on about some time here in San Antonio.
Yeah. Way
back in the early 80s. What are your memories of your time down here?
Well, the Von Erichs always made it a strange animal to play with. It was a learning process. That's about what I'm going to say about it.
Yeah.
It was a learning process, and I did spend some time here trying to get things together, and it worked out to my betterment.
Yeah. Excellent. So Jake, do you have anything else coming up soon that you'd like to promote or share any other cons or signings you may have?
Well, they just need to go to my website, man. Go check it out. Check it out. I've got a lot of things going on. Everything from movies to a book to comedy shows. I just finished a comedy show trek through Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Columbus, Cincinnati, and Cleveland, and I've got some coming up in Canada, so I'm getting around.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Well, Jake, it is beyond an honor to have had you here. We really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, they'll be here for not too much longer, so try and get out here as soon as you can. It's the Rock and Wrestling event here at the Wonderland of America's Mall. And again, the icon, the legend, Jake the Snake Roberts himself, thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys later.